All right. Well, hello. Welcome back for another installment of Firestorm at Home. It's your coach, FreeLove. Hi, guys. Thanks for having me back. I'm excited to have all of you here for our first episode of Strength and Conditioning. So, our previous episodes have all been dedicated to our class disciplines that we teach at Firestorm Freerunning. As you guys can see, we are not currently at Firestorm Freerunning Acrobatics. We are cutting back on all of our unnecessary trips, trying to help in flattening the curve, and in that same sense, we're saying a big thank you to all of the really hardworking service people, fire department, police force, and especially medical staff that are not, as fortunate. Right now, we're all trying to save ourselves, and they are all working to save us. So big shout out, thanks to them. Thanks to a lot of those families that are stuck at home right now, and then that person shows up, and then they shower them with sanitizer. So in the time that they're gone, while we're at home stuck, we're gonna work out. Strength and conditioning is not like our other ones. It's not focused on skills, it's focused on a workout. That's gonna be really it. Today is gonna be an upper body sort of day. It's gonna be our chest and our arms, as well as a little bit of our back. So without too much further, you guys are gonna wanna clear out some space in your home. Either get a couch or a chair with a good cushion, and then get a couple of cans of soup or vegetables or something. I have some pretty wide cans. This means that I'll be grabbing really big grab here with my hand. And you can get smaller cans that are a little bit more narrow, but I like the larger can for the larger grip. If you guys are a little bit younger or smaller, you'll probably want something smaller and easy to hold. You don't want anything that's going to be like a can of soda, because if you drop that or you move it around and you shake it up, it's going to get bad, real fast. So, you guys, vegetable soup, something like that. Hopefully something that's not going to break or burst open, something that's strong and sturdy. And we're going to get started. I've got that. I've got my water over here behind me. And I've got my chair that I'll be using for my workout. I'm going to take my open space, spread out, nice strong stance. We're going to go wide stance, good posture, chest up, chin in a neutral position. And from here, I'm going to turn, bring my chin down across my chest. Do not drop your posture, and bring that chin all the way up on the opposite side. We're going to do that back and forth a few times. Just mobilizing the neck, not really rushing through it, making it a smooth action where I can take my time. Nice. All right, and we're going to go on ahead and stop with the neck there. We're going to start with our upper shoulders. We're going to lift our shoulders up, straight up to our ears. Lift and hold. Squeeze it there. We're going to hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Good, and release that. Yeah, we're going to go on ahead and shrug now just a couple of times. We're going to get used to this movement. I'm going smooth and quick, but not like so fast that I'm just bouncing my arms. So I want a strong, smooth movement here. Continuous shrugs going straight up. Good. And let's give that a stop for a second. We're going to pinch our shoulder blades. Those are the big bones in the backside of your shoulders. So go ahead and pinch those together. It's almost like you're pushing your chest out and then pulling your shoulders and your elbows together behind your body a little bit. We're going to hold them there for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Go on ahead and release. We're going to go on ahead and pull them back together the same way that we did our shrugs, but now we're going to do our pinches. So we're going to pinch back, and we're going to actually hollow out. That means I'm rounding my chest, pushing my shoulders forward. So we're going to push the shoulders forward and pinch. As you guys are doing this movement, keep it going. I want you to make sure that you're breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, right? practicing not only good posture, but good breathing as well. Good, go on ahead and stop with that movement there. We're going to do a full circle for our shoulders now, going backwards, starting at the top of our shrug, and then rolling back to that pinch, dropping underneath the bottom, pulling our shoulder down as low as possible, and lifting up into that rounded, hollowed, shoulders forward position. Go ahead and continue with that big backward shrug as best as possible, hitting all of the distance that you can, making the biggest circle that you possibly can with your shoulder. Big circle. And let's stop there. Go back up to your shrug. Opposite direction. So we were going backwards, now let's go forward. So down the front to that hollow, and backwards to the pinch. Big lift and curl. Good, go on ahead and stop there. Nice. Shoulders and back and neck should all be feeling nice and warm and mobilized now. We're going to move into our elbows just a little bit. So go into this cactus arms position where we put our elbows up at the height of our shoulders. We're going to keep our hands up above that elbow, that nice locked L position. We're going to roll our hands going from the top towards our head to start, going down and underneath, keeping the elbow at the height of the shoulder. Go for it. So this is the act of trying to isolate the elbow in space, trying to make sure that it doesn't really drop. Keep it up and in that space where it's at. Nice. And let's go back up to the start. And opposite direction now, reaching out and away from the head, coming around. Again, making sure to keep our whole body posture. Don't shrug, don't drop. Keep yourself up, elbows at the height of those hands, pushing out for those circles. Elbows up at the height of our shoulders. Good, go ahead and stop there. Nice, all right. We're gonna move onto our wrists. So we're gonna go ahead and interlock our fingers together. Really squeeze those super tight. I want you to imagine almost like you break an egg, but don't let it drip. So interlock the fingers, break the egg, don't let it drip. Squeeze, keep that super tight squeeze the whole time. We're gonna roll our wrists out. I'm rolling in a single direction currently. Trying to be mindful of my breathing patterns. And let's stop and go the opposite direction now. All right, going ahead and release that. Relax those hands, shake them out just a little bit. We're gonna move from our upper appendages into our torso just a little more, twisting through our body nice and slowly and consistently. So I'm turning all the way around and coming back smooth, just like that. Turning and coming back. Now as you guys are turning, I want you to turn and get all the way to the end of your movement. So I'm gonna hit the max that I can. And then twist the opposite to my max. And you guys can see I'm straining a little. I'm pulling through my arm, pulling through that muscle, activating it. Turning and looking back almost all the way over at that wall. Nice, good. Go ahead and stop there. We're going to do that with now a little bit of momentum. Keep yourself planted. Don't let your legs slip out or slide from under you. We're going to go ahead and Start with a slightly wider stance, planted firm feet, twist it out. All right. We're going to move down a little lower into our lower spine, lower back with a few hip circles. Try to isolate as much of the spine as possible while rolling the hips in a nice big circle as wide as possible. So when I say this, I mean, I'm not moving my head and chest, right? I'm going to keep that in place, and I'm going to move everything below it. I like to put my hands somewhere on my body. The lower that my hands are, the more challenging it is to isolate. But I imagine them like a plate. Everything on top of the plate is absolutely motionless. And I just kind of force myself to push that imagery down a little lower, down the spine, to right above the hips, where, of course, a little bit of body sway is going to happen, but let's stop, go the opposite direction, and keep all of those things in mind. A little body sway is going to happen, but we're really trying to isolate everything in the upper half of the body. Mindful of that breathing again in the nose and out the mouth. Nice. So again, you guys are going to need a couple of cams for today's class, for today's lesson. We are going to mobilize our hips and our knees just a little bit more. But if you haven't got those cans, keep that in mind. You should get those cans. The other thing you're going to need is either a chair or a couch, and possibly even a couch cushion or a pillow. So slightly wider than we were before. Now I'm in a fairly wide straddle, not a split. I'm going to go into a lunge on one side. I'm going to drop my whole body down low, and now I'm going to keep it low and shift it over sideways and go to my opposite lunge and then come back up. Nice solid triangle. We're going to do that in the opposite direction now. So I'm going to dip down, stay low and float across, and then come back on up. Nice. We're going to make 2 more triangles, down and across and up, and then the opposite direction. That's our second triangle, down and across and up. Nice. We're going to go back down into that wide stance with that slight squat, staying in there nice and wide. We're going to actually bounce slightly side to side, pushing not only the knees into a little bit of movement, but now pushing the hips through this wide extended bit of movement. We're using the backside of our hip. We're in our glute right now. You guys should feel that in your butt just a little bit. Nice mobility, nice warm up. Light bounce. Stay active, stay engaged. Good. And lock out both of those legs. Stand up nice and tall, nice and strong. Bring those feet and those knees together. We're going to do a few knee circles. Nice. Go on ahead and stay in that fairly squatted position as we do these. Keeping, again, like I did before on those triangles, my torso fairly low, right? I'm not standing up in the middle of this movement. I'm not getting all this movement here. I'm staying low, staying engaged, holding my balance. Now, opposite direction. All right, just a few more circles to go. And then the very last part of our body we're going to mobilize is our ankles. So we're going to strike a lunge pose. One leg in front, body leans forward. Don't step on your cats. Nice. And go on ahead and lean into that front leg. Roll your heel out, roll your ankle out. We're going to have to roll this ankle in both directions, so make sure you do so. And switch if you have not yet done that opposite direction. And in just a moment, we're going to roll out our opposite ankle. Awesome. So we're just finishing our ankle roll and switching to our opposite ankle. So now I'm over here in my opposite lunge, putting the weight in, leaning and rolling that ankle out. And as we finish this up, I want you guys to keep in mind, I've mentioned it a couple times before, you're gonna need cans, you're gonna need like a couch cushion, and you guys are gonna want to use possibly the couch or a chair for some foot elevation. Nothing too much taller than the length of your arm. I want you to keep that in mind. Opposite direction on that ankle roll. And don't forget to keep breathing as well. Breathing will be a big part of today's class. When we get into some really intense points of lifting ourselves, we're going to need to exhale. Keep that in mind. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, and usually it helps on the lift. Go get you guys' water right now. Go take a quick chance to get that water. You're going to need it before we get started. All right, so we just finished our mobility. If you guys are just tuning in, it's strength conditioning episode 1. It's going to be a great time. If you guys have not done mobility, I would highly recommend that you do a little bit of that before you get started with today's workout. We're mobilized. We did an extended mobility to get us additionally warmed up so that we can spend our time really focused on our workout. Again, not like our previous streams is this focused on flexibility as much or on skills workouts, but just strengthening yourselves. You guys should have grabbed a couple of cans of goodies, cans of soup, cans of vegetables, just canned food goods. Really, it doesn't matter. It should just be cans, not cans of soda. You're going to want something that's going to be strong. And you should have a couch or a chair and a cushion that you can use, like that one right there. So we're going to go on ahead and get those all ready with us. Boom. Nice. And the first bit of our workout today is shrugs. I said it before, it's an upper body day. So we're going to go ahead and lift our shoulders up to the height of our ears and set them back down. We're going to continue to do this. And as you guys can see, it's a smooth and continuous movement. Really try and top out the shoulder and use the shoulder blade when you're lifting up the shoulder. Most of the time that people are moving their arm, they're accidentally moving it with impingement. This means that their shoulder blade is not moving. It's kind of like trying to walk through the door while it is stuck partially closed, partially open. We have to open up the door to get through that walkway. And so your shoulder blade is kind of like that. You're going to have to move that shoulder blade up and with that shrug. Good. Go ahead and keep that going. Just a few more. All right, go ahead and stop there. We're going to go out into this nice strong T-pose position. We're going to do a few forward arm circles. My arm circles here are not much more than 6 inches to a foot in their size. So I'm just going to keep that forward circle going nice and strong. Keeping my breathing nice and smooth as well. And let's go backwards now. Switching to the opposite direction. Now, that's not the only trick. We're also going to switch to a palm up position. We were palm down before, so palm up and backwards. You'll feel this on the inside of the extended bicep. I like to call this the server on ice. Sorry. I'm not a comedian. I do fitness though. So keep that going. Keep it going strong. Nice extension. Minding the height of your hands and your elbows. And we're going to stop there for just a moment. We're going to get to our elevated seated position, whether it's your couch or a chair. We're going to start with a few actually incline push-ups. So I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to swing my chair around to a nice elevated point. I'm not here to burn myself out, kill myself, and tire myself to the end just yet. So I'm using a fairly high point of elevation so that it's easy to do my incline push-up. When I'm doing this, I'm now targeting towards the top of my chest, right? This space up here. We're going to keep those going. And now, some of you may be asking, and I want you to keep going as best as you can. You may be asking, Coach, why are we not doing a number of sets or reps? That's because sometimes people will get exhausted at their own pace. I want you guys to keep that in mind, that we're going at an independent pace, minding that our body is different from every other body on the planet. And you have to keep that in mind like the whole time. So sometimes you'll doubt yourself. You'll start to forget. Your workout will feel really tough. That's okay, they're supposed to be. All right, we're gonna stop there. We're gonna find our cans of soup. Go on ahead and grab those bad boys. And we're actually just gonna go on ahead and do a few wrist rolls. I'm holding them the way I would normally hold a can of soup. I'm not holding it here like this, holding it just like normal. And from here, it's almost like there are two very short, stubby magic wands. We're casting a nice spell. I'm rolling my wrists in towards each other. Going under the bottom and over the top. Now you guys can see I'm not letting my arms be down here. Kind of keeping my arms up. Keeping the shoulders and the back and the chest engaged. Going ahead and stop there. Go the opposite direction now. So now I was rolling here. I'm going opposite there. And again, try to keep that breathing nice and calm. Don't let your posture fall apart. Keep your chest up, keep your chin up. Breathing in the nose and out the mouth. Nice. And you should be feeling not only a burn on the inside of your extended bicep here, but you should be feeling that on your forearm as well. We're going to go on ahead and stop with our soup. Set that down. Keep it close. All right. And the next one is going to continue to target the forearm. We call these popcorns, or at least that's what I was taught. So we're going to go ahead and ball our hands into the tightest fist we can, and then open them out as big as open as possible. Really spreading the fingers, and then we're going to curl in and pop those in and out, just like popcorn in the microwave. And that's why these were taught to me as popcorns. So we're going to go on ahead and keep that going. And this is a small circuit, but it is our first circuit of workouts today. So keeping the popcorns going as fast as you can, getting again that tight curl, really squeezing into a balled fist, pushing the hands open and out. Some of our workouts today are going to be focused around actually a planche. Some of you may not know what that workout is. Some of you may be familiar with push-ups. If you've ever seen a push-up where someone is doing it with their feet not on the floor, but instead they're doing like an arms-only push-up, that's going to be your planche. That's going to be one of the things, again, that we're kind of working with our upper body and our chest and back for today. So keep those popcorns going, and know that maybe these workouts that we have right now may not feel like they are super intense, but boy, you'll feel a burn in your forearm now that, go ahead and stop, is going to help to really prepare you for the burn in your forearm you're going to feel later. We're going to start that circuit over again. So we're going to go back into our shrugs. Strong squared stance, keeping the body posture appropriate for ourselves. Just like that. Keeping that chest up, chin up, not down here, up here. And really lifting through the whole shoulder blade, not just the shoulder. Good. Go on ahead and give those a rest. We are going to switch over back out into that T pose. We're going to start with those palms down, forwards, arm circles. So, in this one, the faster you can make the movement, the more that you're going to feel that workout in the shoulder and in the back. You should start feeling some of that burn in your in your lats, yes, down here, but also in your traps up here. So, keep those arms out. Big, big reach, big extended open reach. Keep it going nice and fast. And again, at about a foot at the most. Breathing strong and calmly. In the nose and out the mouth. Good. Stop. Palms up, reverse arm circle. So we're just about halfway through our circuit. Good, keep it going, just a few more. Stay strong, keep breathing. And stop. Good. Going ahead and find our chair again. Now I'm using, I have a very cool chair that allows me to spin around, has a short side and a tall side. It's essentially using a couch that has like the arm of the couch and the seat. So you guys want to use a higher side to target up here just a little bit more. So get back into that push up and go. Like I said, if you have a chair or a couch that has an armrest, go for the armrest. Good, go on ahead and give that a rest for a second. Last bit of this first circuit is our wrist roll. So, good old faithful soup. You'll never let me down. Go on ahead, grab those. Make sure you're not accidentally going to drip or spill. Don't squeeze so hard you break them. And wrist rolls. Going in towards each other and over the top. Keep that in mind as you guys are going to do your opposite wrist roll in just a moment. You're not down here by our thighs, up here more, try and keep them above your waist. Arms straight, great. Bent arms, okay. Try and keep them up though, no matter what. And stop. Opposite direction. Let's go. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I'm sure you can see it. Constantly breathing in the nose, out the mouth. Good, and go ahead and give that a rest. Take those cans, set them down, and go for your first water break before we start our second circuit for your upper body. So go on ahead, get a quick sip Fast. All right. All right, I hope everybody's ready for the second shoulder workout that we're going to do. Our upper body workout instead of just shoulders. We're going to go ahead and keep those cans and keep that chair nice and nearby. We're going to be using those again. We're going to start now with a few overhead circles. So instead of doing our outward reach circles here, we're going to be reaching up. Be mindful, I have a ceiling fan. I don't want to accidentally smack my fan. I don't want to smack my fingers into that. It's not going to be good. It's going to smack me. So I'm going to go ahead and just make sure of my space. Now continue with your workout. So I'm here and I'm going in for my circles. I want you to know I'm not going like this. I am not doing the party girl dance thing. I am going circles towards each other like this up top. Now, if your shoulders are coming in and brushing the sides of your head, that's okay. That's actually preferable. That means that you're actually up in a big shrug and a big reach. That's our goal. And stop that there. We're going to go the opposite direction. Now, I do want you to keep in mind, I was going like this, here. Now I'm going to go here, like that. My shoulders were brushing the back of my ears. Now they'll be brushing towards the front of my ears. So, pull those up. Good, and stop there. All right, we're going to go on ahead and go back to our big old cool chair. Now we're going to do, instead of a normal set push-up, we're going to do a very wide set push-up. So our previous incline push-up was here with our hands almost directly under our elbows, pushing this way. Now our incline push-up will be slightly wider like this. So grab your chair, get a little bit wider in your grip so we can target the width of the chest. And again, still working up towards the top with that incline. So a nice wide grab, and I'm keeping my elbows out for this push-up. Good, and go on ahead and give that a rest there. We're going to step away from the chair, come back down to just flat ground. We're going to do a push-up position and hold. And we're going to do that with a slightly widened stance in our feet. Instead of being together, slightly wide, we're going to do shoulder touches. Going one hand touching the opposite shoulder. Now I do not want you in a flat back push-up. I want you in a big, rounded, hollow body push-up hold. So, I'm not saying that other push-ups are wrong, I'm just specifying the one that I want you in. So, in that push-up, instead of being flat back like that, I am big shrug here, nice and round, as well as feet slightly widened, so I can do my shoulder touches. You guys can keep that going, but I want you guys to keep in mind that when I was doing that movement, I kept my head in a nice neutral position, nice and strong, not looking up at the camera, keeping my head nice and neutral, not letting my head drop down either. I want to make sure that I have good posture. Keep it going. I'm going to keep it going as well. I like this workout. I like to consider this part of the rest portion of the circuit, as there's not really a rest or a stop in our circuit. So keep it up. Good. Go ahead and stop. Slide yourself on up. We're going to grab our cans, and we're actually going to be doing overhead reach with those cans. So I'm holding them just like we talked about before. Same grip as before, like they're just a big, fat magic wand that's very short and stubby. So we're going to hold them just like you would a normal can. And now we're going to hold them towards each other like so. I'm pulling my elbows up so that my elbows are near my ears, as high up as they can go towards my head. So I'm here like this. I'm reaching and pushing up with the cans. I'm currently keeping, as you guys can see, the cans, currently keeping the cans together and trying to squeeze my elbows towards the front of my head. If that's a challenge for you, you can pull the cans apart and do independent lifts on the can as well, just like this. But we're also focusing on our ability to hold our posture when we do these movements, doing these workouts. So I want you to try and keep them together, shrug up so I'm using my obliques, hold my shoulder and shoulder blade up and in place. And now, go for those curls. When I say curls, I mean extensions rather. Good, go on ahead and stop. We're going to rotate our hand now. We have them here like this. We're going to put the butt of the cans together like so. I'm going to curl them up just like that. Now I have a slightly tighter squeeze on my arms, pushing them together a little bit more towards my head. If you're having difficulty before, there's variation that you can do for this one. So the same way we were doing the single overhead curl, we can do, extension. We can do that turned grip, single extension on either side as well, right? But the closer we can keep them, the better. That's more favorable for our workout. So keep them pinched and keep them going. Good, and stop there. All right, so we're gonna start that circuit back at the top. Set those cans down. Arms are gonna go back up. We're gonna start with those circles going one way, and then going the opposite direction with those circles at a full reach. Take, we'll say 5 seconds, catch breath in, and out. 5 seconds at a time, in, and out. And we're gonna go on ahead and ignore my delivery drop off for just a moment and get back into our workout. So nice big upward reach and get those circles going one direction. Good, and stop there.
Drop them for a second. Go ahead and roll your head and your neck out for just a moment if you need to or as you need to. And roll your shoulders out similarly. I know that this is putting a lot of stress inside of that socket. So we're going to go ahead and get started on our opposite direction. So up, and I was going here. Now I'm going here. Good, and give it a rest. Go ahead and come out of that. I know it can be a little intense, like I was just saying before. Go back to the arm of your chair, arm of your couch, and we're gonna go on ahead. Excuse me, little one. All right, we're gonna go on ahead and get back into that. So wide grip for these push-ups, incline push-ups, wide grip. Go back in until you're tired, until you're exhausted, really, for this one. Keep a little strength in your body, so that we can work on those other workouts. Good, go ahead and rest there. Catch your breath. If you guys were not breathing before, you're dead at this point. Breathing is necessary. So breathe. In the nose and out the mouth. Making sure to keep your breathing constant. We're gonna go from the incline push-up to the shoulder touches. Slightly widened stance, get down low. Nice hollow body, and go. Go ahead and rest from that for just a moment and get your cans because we're going to do our overhead extensions. So get your cans ready for your triceps. Go ahead and stand yourself up. And we're going to start with that like hammer grip position there together. And again, try and keep your elbows squeezed in. Right? Squeezed in towards your head. Good. Go ahead and stop there. And we're going to do it just like we did last time. Going from this grip, essentially where we're like putting the palms of our hands together. Now putting our pinkies together, trying to hold on to those two cans of soup. Trying to, again, keep that squeeze super tight in the elbows, right? Squeeze them in. Reach up. Go on ahead and get those extensions. give that a break. We're going to cool down from that for just a moment. Set those cans down. And that's the end of our second circuit, doing it our second time. So go get a quick sip of water. It's important to stay hydrated during these workouts. All right. So we're going to get started with our chair. We're going to make sure that we have good use of that furniture there, that we're approved to use it, that we're not accidentally getting in anyone's way. And one of the first things that we're actually going to talk about is a reverse press and hold. So almost every time you've ever done or seen someone do a push-up, they're doing it like this, where their fingers are pointed up in the direction of their head. Sometimes their fingers are pointed out slightly sideways in the direction of their shoulders. Sometimes their hands are back down a little lower. Hands are even pointed out sideways more, or even backwards a little bit. Because you can push the center of your body. If I'm doing a push-up like normal, I'm pushing just my upper body away. But if I have my hands down here, and my hands are turned, so that way I'm not accidentally hurting or damaging my wrists, right? I can then push my body's weight away from towards the center of my body's weight. Now this allows me to hold myself up and do, like I was talking about earlier, those no-footed push-ups. I'm not going to be doing those now, obviously. We're just doing a workout that's going to help us start with that. So if you have a cushion that you can set down, you're going to go on ahead and end up 10 to 1, you're going to be landing on that cushion. From that, we're going to start with our knees on our elevated surface. All right, as much of your leg as you feel necessary. So I'm going to put myself back. Excuse me, Artemis. I'm going to put myself back in on here, putting my knees up into a slightly elevated position. I'm then going to adjust my furniture as I need to, so that I can hold myself up like I'm doing a normal push-up. And that's going to be what it is to start. Is my legs are elevated, and I'm going to do just a normal push-up. Right? Good. Or just a normal push-up and hold. And we're going to slowly be figuring out where and how to hold yourself up for our end workout for today. So I'm walking my hands back slowly and around, so I'm holding myself up more a little sideways, with my fingers pointed out towards the sides of my body a little more. Just hold yourself up there for a moment, get used to it, get comfortable, like Artemis is getting comfortable under me currently. He's going to be a sad cat when he gets evicted. Alright, and as you guys can see as well, my hands are slightly behind my shoulders, right? So when I started, my fingers were forward and in front of my shoulder, but now I've moved my hands back like this. That is the difference between position 1 and position 2. So I'm now going to go from position 2 to position 3, which is where I move my hand back even further and I turn it around backwards a little bit. Now, as you can see, I'm just kind of squatting myself back, adjusting my furniture as I need to, getting ready for my first negative planche, or a planche set down. So I've got my cushion in between my hands where my chest is going to go, actually just in front of my hands. And I've got my hands turned backwards now, slightly more, and I'm leaning out, holding myself up, and then you can see my elbows are bending a little, and I'm setting myself down. Onto my cushion. Nice. Nice. Feels good. Extra challenge would now be to lift yourself back up from that, like you're doing a planche push-up. All right, now coach, that push-up part's really challenging. You can't do that. That's okay. This is only your first episode of strength and conditioning. I guarantee you, none of you, if you're on your first episode, are really doing that planche. We're just getting started, really teaching the body how to do all those cool, fun workouts. So, get that reverse grip or turned hand grip, and get yourself really leaning in front of your hands now. Quite a lot of lean. My feet are up, my knees are on the edge of my elevated surface. Oh, I'm starting to get shaky. Oh, I can't hold it straight anymore. I'm gonna bend the arms and slowly try and set myself down on my mat or on my pillow, on my cushion, and then if I can, really adjust and push up, back up out of that dipped position. Coach, I'm really strong. Good, I like that. You guys, if you are really strong and you are feeling really comfortable with this movement, then go on ahead and do them as a series of push-ups. It's part of the reason why we saved our strength from our previous circuits. So, nice planche position and hold. Knees are on your elevated surface, and just a few. You guys can see I'm bottoming out. Now you can do a dead stop by bottoming out onto your pillow, taking your hands off the floor, putting them back, and then lifting up, doing a dead stop variation of the lift. Which is significantly more challenging. So, guys, go on ahead and carefully eject from your workout apparatus, your chair, your couch, whatever that case may be. Take that cushion, set that back in place where it were. Take your cans of food, put them back in the cupboard. Obviously that's not my cupboard, but you get the point. We are going to stretch because, boy, that was a lot of upper body. We just used our pecs, which are our big chest muscles up here. We used our bicep, which is this part of the arm here. We used our tricep, which is the back side of that. We used quite a bit of our forearm, as well as our shoulder or deltoid right here, boom, boom. And then a lot of our lats, these big wings here, as well as back in there, our scapula, the muscles that help to retract our shoulder blades or hold them in place. A little bit of traps, which are the little tapering muscles here at the top of the neck. And so those are all of the muscle groups that we really focused and targeted today. That being said, we're going to be spending the next few minutes stretching them out before we call an end to today's stream. So go on ahead and take a seat. Catch your breath. Get water if you needed it. All right. Our first stretch, again, we did a lot for the arms and the shoulders. Our first stretch is going to be a shoulder stretch. We're going to put our hands behind us on the ground, like so. And then we are going to slide away from our hands. If you guys want to, one of the things that you can do, try and put your hands closer to each other, then lift yourself up into a table or a crab, and then walk your feet out, put your hips down towards your feet. This is a great way to help increase that stretch. So, nice big reach here. And then if you can, if you're too far out, you can't lift yourself, that's okay, I understand. If you can, lift yourself to set yourself back in place. Otherwise, we're just gonna slide ourselves back and go on ahead and come off the elbows. We're gonna roll the elbows in towards our chest, keeping the backs of the hands together. So roll the elbows in towards the chest. You're gonna press the back of the hand so that you get a stretch on the wrist as well. So wrist and elbow stretch in here. Pull them in super tight, hold them for just another moment. Breathing is super important. Keep your breathing going in through your nose and out through your mouth the whole time. Good. All right, we're going to go ahead and release that stretch. We're going to flip to the opposite end of that. We were just here like this. Now we're going to be palms together, fingers pressed to each other. We're pushing the heel of our hand in towards our lower abdomen a little bit, towards our belly button here. So boom, push down towards that. Really keep that pressure in the top of the hand and the wrist. And pull your elbows, if you can, up above your fingertips without letting the heel of your hand separate. Breathe. All right, good. Go ahead and release that. We're going to interlock our fingers and roll our wrists out. We're going to have to roll both directions, so it doesn't matter which way you start now, but just keep in mind, in a few moments, we are switching, so make sure to roll both sides no matter what. Nice. Good. Go ahead and shake those out. Side to side shakes are super fun, super comfortable way to shake out the wrist. The other one that we're going to do is an up and down or a flap. So we go from a shake to a flap, just like that. Nice. Now we're going to stretch our shoulders and our back out just a little bit more. One of the first stretches that I really fell in love with that got me super into stretching was one that we're going to do now using the arm of the chair or the side of the back of the couch. Go ahead and spin that around. And if it's low enough, you can do it on your knees, but I'm actually going to stand up onto my feet to give myself increased stretch. Keep my hands narrow, keep them on the back of that obstacle. And I'm going to stand up, now push my chest down and towards the floor. While you're here, do not forget to breathe. Super important breathing the whole time, in the nose and out the mouth. All right, go ahead and come on up and out of that. Oh, super fun stretch. I love it. Like I said, it was one of the first that I think I fell in love with that stretch because you get so much of the top of the trap and the inside of the back where your shoulder blades are. Speaking of that, we're going to actually do a few rotator cuff stretches and scapula stretches. So go ahead and put the back of the hand against the low to mid back, just like that. Keeping the elbow out at distance, but trying to hide the wrist a little bit, right? So the wrist is hidden. Now I'm going to grab, reach across the body and grab the elbow and pull the elbow from the side of the body towards the front of the body here. Just like that. And you should feel plenty of stretch in the shoulders. Don't forget that stretching should be comfortable, slightly uncomfortable. Rather, like a comfortable amount of uncomfortable is really the trick. So like when you get into a stretch, there's a level of pain or strain is really what it is because you're pulling on the muscles, so you're really straining them. There's a level of strain that you should grow accustomed to, that you should be familiar with, that you guys should learn to love. And that's kind of what we're in right now. So you want to hit that point of minor strain where you're pulling into a comfortable pain. Good, release that. Go ahead and release that whole arm. Shake that whole arm out. We're going to switch over to the opposite side. So again, hide the wrist and grab the elbow and pull. Breathing, nice deep breath in the nose and out the mouth. We're almost done with today's episode, so I really hope that you guys enjoyed the workouts that we did together today. They were, again, focused on a lot of upper body, and they, as you guys can feel, were not like skills training or skills practice at all whatsoever. They are just to get the muscles used. Again, not super duper hard workouts, and workouts where you can taper them or make them easier and more challenging as you would personally prefer, right? Go on ahead and release that. Yes. One of the few final stretches that we're going to do is actually a inner lock of our fingers and an extension of the arms, but we're going to turn our hands over, so flip the hands, and then cross them and interlock in front. And now I want you to pull the shoulders forward and then lift the arms up and over your head. Widen your stance. And we're going to lean side to side just ever so slightly. Good. Drop the arms and release, and then switch to the opposite side. So now we can do it again. Pull the shoulders forward into a nice big hollowed round, then shrug them up overhead. Keep them tight. And side to side leans. Good. Go on ahead and release. Bring the arms in and across the body. All right. So there are 100,000 more arm and upper body stretches that you guys can do. Unfortunately, our time together has come to an end. I really appreciated having you guys here. Strength and conditioning. It is going to be a class that, like our tricking class, tapers upward in difficulty as we get through the episodes of progression. However, I will always leave a starting point or a progression point for you guys. So even if you are jumping into episode 2 or episode 3 of strength and conditioning and you have not done episode 1 or you haven't practiced, or maybe you're just not personally the most fit and you're just looking to start getting fit, then I will considerably give you those alternatives like just pressing and holding or turning the hand position and readjusting and slowly tapering you guys into our level of workout. If you have more questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to go on ahead and leave them in the section below. One of the other things that you guys can do, support us by donating. If you guys want to donate, we're accepting donations through our PayPal. That's going to be Firestorm Freerunning at gmail.com. And that's on PayPal. So specifically at gmail.com, Firestorm Freerunning at Gmail, donations for PayPal. So we really appreciate you guys. You're a wonderful group. And thank you guys for tuning in. See you next time.